Well, the teacher who convinced the 15-year-old suspect to put his gun down says he doesn't consider himself a hero. Mark Johnson spoke publicly today for the first time about the shootings. KARE 11's Brad Woodard continues our live team report with more on what Johnson witnessed and what he did.
Well, Paul, when Mark Johnson came face to face with the alleged gunman, he says he didn't have time to think. He simply reacted. At 6'2" and a former college football player, he is an imposing figure. But those who know him say he's simply a gentle giant. For the first time since gunfire shattered the innocence of their world, students were allowed back inside Ricori High School briefly to retrieve their belongings. Their lives in the place they once considered a sanctuary drastically changed in the course of a day.
It was different. I don't know. It was really eerie going past the gym and stuff. I don't know, really quiet.
So many things came as a surprise during Wednesday's chaos at the school.
It was our friend that got shot.
But one man's courage did not.
No, he's really like that. He just really cares about students and stuff.
How would you describe him? I mean, both physically and...
He's big and strong. He's very brave.
He is teacher and coach Mark Johnson, and he's being credited with convincing suspected gunman Jason McLaughlin to surrender his gun and ultimately himself. Moments earlier, McLaughlin allegedly shot senior Aaron Rollins and freshman Seth Bartell in a hallway. Authorities say Bartell ran upstairs where McLaughlin shot him again.
At that moment, I saw the shooter with the gun in his right hand. I made a couple of steps towards the shooter. At that point, he raised the gun at me. I stopped immediately, and within probably maybe a half a second, I took my right hand out, and I said no, very loudly. And at that point, he lowered the weapon. He discharged the remaining bullets of the weapon on the gym floor and dropped the gun on the floor.
Johnson says he picked up the gun and escorted McLaughlin to the office, telling the remaining students in the gym to get to a secure location. As for McLaughlin,
very quiet, didn't say a word as I escorted him to the office, didn't say one word. Came with me very willingly.
I think he's a hero.
Why?
Because he actually saved other people's lives.
I don't believe that. I think a lot of people in that situation would probably have done the same thing. You don't train for anything like this. It just happens. You just do whatever you do. I didn't think about I didn't think about my safety at the time.
now Johnson says just about a week ago, the entire staff here at the school underwent training for emergency procedures, and this was one of the scenarios they experimented with, and he credits that largely for the way things turned out yesterday. Want to clarify, when he mentioned that McLaughlin allegedly discharged his bullets into the gym floor, what he meant when he said that was that he actually unloaded the gun manually and dropped the bullets on the floor. Back to you, Paul.
Johnson certainly is a humble fellow, isn't he?
He certainly is, and you know, it's funny, I talked to some of the football players he's coached in the past, and they describe him, you would think they would describe a coach as being a tough, gruff guy, and they're like, well, he's loving and caring, and not words you normally hear associated with a football coach.
No, kind of educator you want, too. Thank you, Brad.